Hey, welcome back to another video. I'm still waiting at the red light. I'm gonna start crying at the end of the last one when I start talking about my fun helping and stuff. So I guess there's still a little bit of that pride stuff in me, you know. I've been doing it because God told me to, you know, but it still ain't easy. Driving slower or something. When I headed out, I thought I'd have time to stop at Quick Trip and make it to church. And right now, my navigator, the church will start by the time I get to Quick Trip. I don't know how that happened. I must have been driving slow. I do that when I'm like, sometimes when I'm talking on the cameras, not when I'm feeling good or joking around. Then I do a pretty good job of going the speed limit and stuff, but it seems like when I'm down, it's almost like I automatically drive 10 miles an hour slower or something. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's something internal in me because I got so much on my mind, so that way I'll have more reaction time if a deer jumps out or a car stops or something. Maybe. Psychology amazes me too. I've been learning more of that. I've been watching some videos on psychology too to try to keep my head together from all the stuff I'm going through, you know. You know, because just, you know, being trapped in the camper, because it's winter time in Minnesota, so it's not like and I don't have the income, so it's not like I'm doing a bunch of activities. Or when I was working, even in the winter, I'd go do activities, you know, just to stay busy and not feel so trapped in the camper, you know, and get cabin fever. You know, I'd go to, I should slow down. It's that big hill. I hadn't thought about it now. I don't like having to like slow down quick when I'm on the hill, when I'm going fast. It just heats up the brakes quick. And I'll hit the brakes, slow down a little bit, and then I let off them so they can free flow, so they get air flowing through them and not actually cool a little bit. Then I'll hit them again to slow down a little more, and then I'll let off them again. To the casino to do my free play, I was sweating bullets with anxiety, man. My temperature gauge was spiking on me, and it's doing it now because I was going up a hill here, but it was doing it worse earlier. And it's not going all the way to the red hot stuff, but anytime it starts spiking, I shouldn't stress on it so much, but I'm constantly watching my gauges and everything. I'm always, I don't want to have my problems. And in a minute, I see one moving further than I normally should. I'm like freaking out. I'm really glad I got this camper, though, I'll tell you. It's been a nice little home for 3 years. And if I didn't have a narcissistic brother will on him. I don't wish bad things against him. Actually, I pray for him, and I pray that he'd actually really find God instead of saying he uses the Bible to manipulate people and stuff. It's pretty rotten. But it's a pretty rotten thing. But if my mom died, somehow the court awarded him control of stuff. And as we speak, if I don't get nothing out of the deal, it's still been zero after 4 years that's going on. And that means he's going to sneak away with about $250,000. So I hope I get justice. I didn't want to push it before, because I didn't want to stoop to his level. And I had faith that God would take care of it. And then the time kept going on and on. Stuff wasn't happening. It was stressing me out more, but I didn't want to. So what he's done now, he's already started spending money, and that puts him in a felony violation. He's not supposed to spend any of it until it's all been settled and stuff. And he's already been low and stuff, spending money. And I wouldn't put it past him to hang on to my half, not understanding the law, just to punish me, like thinking I would have to come to him to get it, and to make it tough for me. But because he's already spending money, it puts him in felony violation. He's already violated his position as personal representative. I don't know how I'm getting into talking about this, but oh well, I might as well go with it a little bit. Anyway, so I didn't want to have to push the issue and send him to jail, because I know anytime he's been in jail, he's different. My brother, even though he's a narcissist and really mistreats people, he's also, I don't know, he's got to have a chemical imbalance or something. Because anytime he's been in jail, he starves himself. He will not eat. He'd been in jail for a few days and would not eat one little morsel. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he uses that as a ploy so that way somebody won't send him to jail because they don't want to give him a death sentence or something. But I don't know. But all the stuff he's done to me, I didn't want to stoop to his level and be, have God look at me like, because of all the fighting and ugliness in it, And it wasn't until recently. I mean, there's still attorneys working on it and stuff, but I really didn't want to have to sign a paper, pressing charges on him, which will send him to jail for quite a while. A lot longer than he did ever want to be. He don't like jail at all, let alone for a felony violation. Because even if they give him a light sentence or something like that, it's going to be a lot longer than what he's going to. It's going to be tough for him. But anyway, I talked to this pastor met me one day outside the Bible, outside the library, and he started asking me some questions about my RV, and I told him I loved it and stuff. He said he was wondering how do I keep it warm and stuff. So I started telling him about my solar and my diesel and stuff, and somehow one thing led to another, and I got into why I was in the situation and started my life over in a camper with nothing because of my brother kept everything. Somehow I worked at the foundry for 2.5 years, and the hardest job I ever did, but I couldn't, my body was getting old, or can't take the beating. And I was hoping while I was working at the foundry, I could make enough money, and then when the estate settled, then I could put a down payment in a house and get a house and stuff. But, as time kept dragging on, I was getting beat up at the foundry, and then the management changed and stuff, and just started getting really. It was a lot of fun there, even though it was a hard job. Just like all my coworkers loved me and I loved them, but then they just started really trying to push me out the door. And I know I was quiet, and I've been trying to look at attorneys that would take my case for the quiet filing, for the harassment and whatnot, but haven't had luck with that. Didn't have luck with my unemployment. That didn't go through. But my brother, anyway, back to that. It's the pastor started quoting some scripture to me about the situation with me and my brother and what he's doing by starving me out and stuff is wrong, and that goes against scripture, And the way the pastor was saying stuff to me, it made me feel a little better about pushing forward and I'm ready now that if there's attorneys working on it now, and maybe they can work something out with my brother. My brother's attorney removed himself from the case, and I'm pretty sure that's because of my brother spending money before things were settled, which that guy, my brother's attorney, could lose his bar license then, you know, so I'm pretty sure that's why he dropped my brother. And so hopefully the attorneys I got working on it right now, the group of them, because my original attorney, now I got more attorneys, and hopefully they can get something to work with him. If not, if he's not cooperative or whatever, then if they say I'm going to have to sign a paper to press charges to have him arrested, I will. I didn't want to do that. I really, really didn't. But, you know, the other way I look at it too, but to try to help myself be okay with it, is that, you know, if he keeps hurting people, he ain't never learning. He ain't never having consequences for his actions, you know. He's been doing it for years to people, for over 50 years. Yeah, so, I don't know. Sorry I got onto all that stuff. I don't know. I guess I'll have to, I don't know what I'll title this one. But it's raw and real, so I will put it up. Just don't know what I'll call the title because I went from one subject to another. But hey, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and we'll see you on the next one.